think I'm ready. welcome to welcome to this live. This live, and I don't know if the AC is too loud. It might be a little too loud. Let me turn it down. I'll just turn it off. Just turn it off. Okay, so today's conversation is around self honesty. And this is, I think, probably the most important conversation that you could have with yourself, um, for whatever, for everything, anything in your life. Because I think it's really the foundation of everything that you create. Without self honesty, without being honest to yourself, you cannot be honest with other people. It's just the way things work. Oh, and by the way, if you see me like have these red marks, I just got bitten by mosquitoes literally right before this call, so there's like stuff on my body right now. Anyways, entered randomly through the window. I opened the window for a minute and here was. But to stay on the topic here, if you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with other people. Just the way things are. It's just very, very simple. That's how things work. So I wanted to share with you a little bit, because I think this is something that sounds a lot easier to do than it actually is. And what do I mean by that? We live in a world where we are completely programmed to live a certain way, to think a certain way, to behave a certain way, to be a certain way. So, because we are so programmed to live in that certain way, then we don't even notice we don't notice when we're not honest with ourselves. We don't notice when we do certain things. And if you see me look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. And the other thing is, we are raised in a culture where certain things about ourselves we are believed to be wrong. Though they're actually our honest truth, those things could be wrong. For example, and this is a very controversial topic, a lot of people don't like talking about this, but it's very important to talk about it. So many people would hide their sexual orientation because in society that we live in, it's not acceptable, it's not okay, and then other people actually could cause them harm if they open up and if they be themselves. So what do people do? They pretend to be somebody else. They might be doing something while they're hiding, or they might not even be doing it at all. They can be completely in denial with themselves that they have a different orientation than the one that the society puts us to have. So what I really want to talk about is, and this is just one example, we can be doing this with a career, we can be doing this with the partners that we choose, that we live with, our friends, the way we talk to our family, the way we live our lives, the careers. For me, it was a lot of the other stuff. I think the one thing that I did not fall in the matrix is the type of partner that I chose. Since I was really young, I had interracial relationships, meaning I dated people from other cultures, from other races, though I think race is not a real thing. We just judge people based on their color. But culture is different because, you can grow up in different parts of the world and have different beliefs. So that's probably one area of my life where I think I was the most honest with. Everything else, I tried to fit in. I worked really hard to fit in. I worked hard in such a way that I would struggle so bad, and I didn't understand why certain things would come easy, and I would see other people do it really well. You know, I'm not gonna judge them. Maybe they're just really good at playing the Matrix and being part of that. For me, it was a little different. I really wanted to do so well, but I couldn't. And what would happen is I would get really depressed. I actually didn't even know why I was depressed. But it got to a point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. I don't even know if I was actually ignoring it before that, because in my head it was just like, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me. That's all there was for me present, that there was something wrong with me. I never thought that like I was depressed. I never thought that how do I say this? That I needed help, and I thought that it was just insufficient. I was not enough. I didn't have enough to offer, and yeah, that's where I struggle. Thank you, everyone. Hi, everyone. For everyone who is joining right now, I really appreciate you being here and joining me for this conversation. Um, and just to stay on track on the topic, the other thing that when when we're not honest with ourselves, with time, we actually could start getting sick. And what that means, it can manifest in many ways. It can manifest in an emotional way, in a physical way. It can manifest in your mental way. Because when we're not ourselves and we're not living the life we were brought here to live, and we're trying to fit in, because you won't believe it, but even today, we need community. I know the way we need community nowadays is different. Most of us won't go hungry if we don't have our community or our family. Like, most of us can buy our food, get a job, all these things. But we still need community. Community plays such a big role in our emotional well-being, in our mental well-being. So this is the reason why so many of us try to fit in and do things that are not true to ourselves. And we try to fit in. So we do whatever our family expects of us. We do what we think they would expect of us. We do those things where we feel that we don't fit in. I've really struggled to fit in because I was raised without my parents. I was raised by my grandparents. So I lacked a lot of just a different generation, right? Like, my grandparents think different than most parents do nowadays. So I kind of had to be a parent sometimes to myself, though I was a child and I didn't understand a lot of things myself. I just had to some ways find to fit in, like to fill in the gap, right? So one thing that I could say is that as I was going through my life, some feedback that I would get from people a lot was that I was very blunt, that I was very direct, that I was too honest, that I was too real. I would hear that a lot. You're just too real, you know, like, you shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't say what you actually think or what you believe or what you speak. You can't do that. People are gonna take it the wrong way, or you're gonna get hurt. People are not gonna treat you well. And to be fair, many people didn't treat me well. But one thing, that the honesty to myself, I did my best to be honest to myself, because I'm not going to say that I was there 100%, because I always wanted to fit in. So if I wanted to fit in, then that means that I wasn't following my truth. But that part, the fact that I was, whenever I could, be honest to myself and the people around me, eventually led me to where I am today, where I am creating the life that I dream of, that I want to live. I am stepping away from the metrics, and I don't want to say I'm stepping away fully from the metrics, because I'm still human. I still want to be part of a community. I don't think that I'm here like completely creating something different. What I'm just doing is I'm following more my heart. I'm going towards, the topic is self-honesty. Why should you be honest with yourself? And this is really what I'm talking about. Like, I'm kind of giving a little bit more like of a background, um, and sharing how I got to where I am today, and really being more honest with myself. Because I think everybody or most people start from a place of being dishonest because they're trying to fit in. And when we try to fit in, we're not honest with who we are. And the part that is missing here is that you might not even know who you are, which is completely okay if you don't know who you are, because you're on this earth to discover it. I think it's when we ignore it and we say, I'm fine, I'm good, I have a good job, it's paying me well, my family most of the time treats me nice, therefore those few things I'm just gonna ignore them. Like, I don't like when they talk to me a certain way or tone, or they expect certain things from me, but I just find ways to just ignore that and put it aside. I think that's really where the problem comes in, is when we ignore certain parts of ourselves, because there's that little inner calling. It's called an instinct. Fortunately, humans nowadays are not connected to their instinct. They are connected to this thing that we think we should do. We should get a good job. We should be good kids to our parents. We should, have a good relationship, whatever that is, have kids. And of course, not everybody falls into this, but I would say majority of us, we do. We feel that pressure of having to live a certain way, and breaking away from that is really hard because it's so engraved into us. It's engraved into us because we're human and we have certain goals to meet as human. And then on top of that, it's engraved because of the way we are brought and raised by our families, by our schools, and by society in general. And on top of that, now we have social media that is telling us even more stuff of how our life should look and be. You should have a certain type of clothes. You should have a certain type of job too. I think there's also pressure there that if you have a 9 to 5, then that's not acceptable anymore, is not cool, and that's absolutely not true in my opinion. If you have a 9 to 5 that you love and this is your dream job, when I say maybe not dream your job, maybe you're working towards your dream job, but this is really connected to who you are. 9 to 5 is a great job. Or even if it's not 9 to 5, maybe you work overnight. I don't know, you're an engineer or you run the trains. It doesn't matter. I think what matters is, are you doing that just to survive and just to pay your bills? Because yes, there is part of that you gotta do and to survive and to pay your bills because you need to do it. But are you working towards a bigger goal? What I mean by it, if that's not your final destination, then are you doing anything else? Are you being honest with yourself and saying, yes, this job is providing for me. I have a roof over my head. I have my family's like good to me most of the time, but there are some things that I want to change. For example, I'm going to use myself as an example. My career. I knew early on that I struggled very much. I had so many different jobs, from cleaning to fast food to retail to law firm, like, I was helped, to being a virtual assistant, to working in marketing, doing strategy, planning. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I did some modeling, some acting, promotional model stuff. Like, I would actually be one of those people on the events that would promote and bring the cheer on the crowd. I've had so many jobs, and I had to be honest with myself because I struggled so much to a lot of them. I struggled because of my inner struggles and traumas, but I also struggled because those were not for me. They were just there to shape me, to remind me of where I want to be, where I want to be heading. So this is the part that I really want to talk to you about. And I want you to ask yourself, how honest am I with myself? From 1 to 10. Would you say you are a 2, a 5, a 8? I think nobody is a 10. If you're saying you're a 10, you are completely delusional. Sorry to say it like that. Very straightforward here. But yes, you're completely in denial about your life. It's absolutely impossible for any human being to be completely honest with themselves. Even statistics show that people would lie. Every single person in this world tells regularly lies. They can be small lies, but they could say that, for example, if you have a great job, there might be some problems about your job, but you might not share those, and you'll say that your job is just like the best and it's perfect. And though it is, majority of the things are working, there's some things that don't work, but you're not going to tell anybody that part, right? So that's technically telling somebody a lie. It's not a big lie because you're not completely making it up, but you're also not being honest, but not sharing certain things that don't work about your job or your career. And we all do that. Now that you know, or you approximately know, how honest you're with yourself, I want to disappoint you a little bit and tell you that the number is probably lower. And here's why. Because, like what I said earlier, most of us live our life from the matrix, from what we're taught and we expect of ourselves. We don't live our life from looking for our truth, from connecting to our heart and saying, listen, I really want to do this thing, like with my life. I don't know. I want to become an artist. I want to live off selling my art. But currently I have a 9 to 5. Most people will not say that. They'll be like, yeah, I have a hobby. You know what? Hobbies are not to be made money off. Hobbies is something that you just do on the side when you have time. Yet you are literally at a job trying to survive every single day, hating your job, but you push it through because that's what people do. You gotta push through things. You need to push through things because otherwise you're a horrible human being. I mean, how dare you want more when all of us here are literally doing the same thing, right? That's how life works. I hear all the time people saying, your job, you don't need to love your job. Because your job is there just to provide for you, just to give you the food, the rent, and some extra stuff. And a lot of people, especially in this country, my understanding is they find a way to make a good amount of money, whether that's working 2, 3 jobs or having one job that gives them a good salary. And if you give a person that, then they are very comfortable and they don't want to step out of it. So here is what happened to me. What happened to me is that I got to a really bad place, and I never really thought that I was being dishonest with myself in a sense of what I really want, because I was really afraid to tell people that that I don't want to do this job, because I would feel ungrateful for the job. You know how many people out there don't have a job, and you are gonna say that this job you don't want? You're gonna say that you don't like this job or that you're struggling? I mean, seriously, there's so many other harder jobs. You can't possibly doing that. And I'm specifically referring to my job in corporate America, in the agency world, which a lot of times were so many hours of work, but that wasn't the issue for me. The issue for me was that I just couldn't find a way to fit in that community. I just felt like something was missing. This is not a place for me. People there were only doing things for money, and I just felt that they were just smiling to my face. So nice. How are you doing? Great. But in the reality behind that, there's a completely different person who is living a completely different life, who to your face at work will never say it. And that part, I hate it. So what happened when I saw that? I also had to look within and be like, well, where am I dishonest with myself? This community doesn't fit. I see people out there living and creating their beautiful lives. Why can't I do that? So I got help. I went and I really looked for personal development. As many of you know who follow me, that is literally the thing that I do every single day in my life. I breathe and live personal development, self-actualization, creating the life that I want for me, and I'm looking to create a community of people who do that for themselves as well. Now, on this journey, hello Siri, thank you, appreciate it. Do not turn on again. Okay. I know that even though I have my notes over here, I got a little nervous with this live, and I feel like I need a deep breath for a moment. But what I really wanted to tell you with this particular topic is, if you want to make a difference in this world and you want to make a difference in your life, you really have to look how honest you are with every single part of your life, with career, with your friendships, with your partner, with your family. And where is it that you need to create boundaries? Where is it you need to say, this doesn't work for me and I want to do something about it? And that's how you are actually going to start discovering that you are less honest with yourself than you previously thought you were. And from there, you can take realistic yet actions that are really connected to who you want to be in this world and the life that you want to live. Because you decide. I don't care what your circumstances are. I don't care where you are from. I see people from all over the world here. I do not care where you're from. In the society that we live in today, pretty much everyone can create their dream life. They just can. And when I say dream life, the dream life that you're thinking of right now, if you're not doing the personal development work, is actually going to be very, very different than the life that you are going to create for you when I don't should say completely different, but most likely different than the life you envision for yourself when you're younger. And I'm not referring for you when you were a kid, because you might actually end up connecting to some stuff when you were a kid and you realize, oh my god, I literally thought of this when I was a kid and I completely went off track. For example, for me, it was I wanted to, I think, be in the performing arts. I wanted to sing and dance. Basically I wanted to use my voice, which is what I see now that I'm doing. And growing up, that was not an option in my family. That was not something that I could do. And because that was not something I could do, then what did I do? I tried to fit in. I saw my cousin getting a job in the office. It's like, oh my god, I should get a job in the office. I'm gonna be the cool kid as well. You know, people are gonna be like, you're doing a good job. I can get a good salary. All these things. But I just wasn't happy. And I also struggled to get the type of job. Now, when I got to it and I had it, I didn't want to stay there. I didn't want to stay there, and I felt so guilty for not wanting to stay there. And this is the part that I wanted to talk to you about, and that is, please, because I don't want to make this video longer than it is, as I feel like I'm repeating myself. One thing that I think it's very important is to do your best to always act as fair as you can with yourself and with others. Do the right thing. When you do the right thing, you actually open the door for the information that you need to get to the life that you want to happen. It comes to you. And I know some people are going to say, I pray, I believe in God, I meditate, which is what I do a lot of the times. Those things will help you. But I also have found out on my journey that a lot of people hide behind a religion. Specifically, they live a certain life because the religion is expecting them to live a certain life, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you want to do that, you do that. But I just want to say that you can live a religious life without giving yourself up. That's the part that I really wanted to get to. Not that I wanted to talk about against a religion, because I know that's something very serious and people think it's really, really serious. So I just want to say to you that whatever you are, whatever your circumstances are, whatever you beliefs that you're taught, whatever the pressure that you feel that you have from society and from the people around you, you can still be honest first with yourself. You gotta start with yourself, and then slowly you will start to be honest with other people. When you start to be honest with other people, you also learn the type of people that you have by your side. You really, really learn to value who you are and value that the people that actually fully support you. Because when you're not honest, you don't get the right support. You get a type of fake support, meaning like they clap for you, wow, bravo. But in reality, they are really happy that you are there. And if you want to step away from where you are, they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? You're destroying everything. All of these things that you work really hard for, you're just going to destroy them and give them away? When in reality, you're not destroying anything. You are just going to connect deeper to yourself and start creating and living a life that is meant for you. A life that is connected to your calling on this earth, that is connected to who you were born to be. And take a small baby step every single day towards it. And number one thing for you to do that is to be honest with yourself and to stop saying, I'm gonna do it tomorrow or someday, because someday will never come. You only have today and right now. So if you have a moment, even if you don't have a piece of paper, you can have your phone, or if you don't have your phone, do it mentally. Quickly take a moment and be with yourself and take a look of how honest are you in your areas of your life. And also be aware that if you put in like an 8 or a 9, there's a high chance that's not the case, because it depends on the life that you're living and who are you living it for. Are you living it for yourself, or are you living it for your parents? For some people out there who are constantly clapping and saying how great of a job are you doing, does that resonate with you in here? Does it resonate with your intuition? Does it resonate with that inner calling that you get, like the little nudge that you get here and there, you know, like it's just saying, hey, are you listening? Hey, I'm here. So yeah, this is the topic for today. And if you're honest with yourself, you will be honest with others, and you will also create an honest life for you and for what you were brought to do here in the world. And you will feel fulfilled. I know that for sure, that if you live a life truly honest and connected to who you are, you'll create a fulfilling and happy life for you, which in the end is what matters. And you will have the community that you need, the community that will give you the love that you need, the support that you need, all those things. And remember, you can have your chosen family, your chosen community, and your bird family and community that you were raised with. They can be two separate things, and you can still love and respect both of them, but one of them is here to bring you to your calling, to raise you up and to get you beyond what you've known so far. And to really, 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 to really connect you to yourself. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you had fun and enjoyed it. I know I rumbled a little bit. I repeated some things. I think I need to do a better job in writing my notes, because um I have wrote all the notes down, but I think I wrote too many notes, so I kind of got lost a little bit through my notes. But it's all good. It's all good. You know, we're all learning here, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm learning to share with you, and I really hope I get to inspire and motivate you to be in action in your life and to pursue your dreams, to pursue that calling that comes so deep from inside that at first you don't even know or understand what it is. You just have to follow it, and then as you follow it, you get to a place where you're like, that makes sense, that makes sense. But you gotta keep going. You keep going. You keep going. It never ends. It's never ending. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay. Bye. Bye, YouTube.